Smack. Welcome to Super Smack.
Welcome to Super Smack.
The Super Rugby podcast from the fans, for the fans. Round 8 is
Round
over.
8, done and dusted. A 4-game Super Saturday.
Yeah,
which was big. One after the other. I was thinking, how many people do you have to get special permission to go?
To what, 4 games? Oh, you have to see them all.
Babe, can I watch all of them?
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't. I mean,
I got a couple in.
And they were doing, like, you know, the Crusaders drew. You kind of wanted to watch that. You wanted to, the Moana, they were all good battles.
Yeah.
The Highlanders one at the end is probably the one that you didn't need to watch. Let's be honest.
By that point, we were kind of like, oh, it's quite a lot for one day.
And do you know what? It's great that they scheduled the Highlanders game as the last one, because you turn the TV off knowing exactly what's going to happen, and you go to bed and you go, I don't need to watch it.
Or it's one of those ones that you can watch while you're watching True Lies.
Yeah. What?
You just keep it on.
Screen and screen.
Yes, a second
box
screen.
And box.
I have my little phone set up on silent while I'm watching True Lies with my wife.
And you're sort of like, you'll be watching and then suddenly you go, oh.
Yeah.
And you go, oh.
Yeah, there's Jamie Lee Curtis putting the water from the vase in the hallway through her hair.
Dance slowly. Dance sensually.
There was one game on Friday, though.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot about that game.
A wee wet affair.
Have we got some news? Bottom left, right.
What?
News. Okay, mate.
What's happening?
No. Here's the first news.
Yeah.
Gareth I know more about these panels, mate, than you do. You've got a real problem with your memory.
Just 1 second.
News. Well, congratulations. You know which one to push now, because you only pushed it a second.
What's the news, mate?
Well, the news that I was going to bring in, apart from the fact that you've obviously got some kind of issue with your short-term memory,
chill out,
is... Well, yeah, we've got a new tabletopper again, a re-tabletopper. The Chiefs managed to just scrape past a quality Reds performance in Hamilton.
Okay, I mean, I describe it a little bit differently than that.
Well, I didn't. I was watching it with you at the pool hall. Mm-hmm. We both saw the same game, mate.
Mate, we didn't see that last 15 minutes where we actually put it away.
Was that when we'd gone to Goblin for a cocktail?
Yes, that's right.
So we were gobbling down by that point.
Well, it was a really tight little affair. The Reds really held their own right through to that last little moments of the game. They actually came back with the final say in the game. But once again, our bench has proven that they can come on and they can make a big difference and they can really close out the tight games.
Yeah, you guys do definitely have one of the best benches in the competition. It's your secret weapon, isn't it?
I think it's the weapon of the Super Rugby competition this year.
In terms of all the sides having their superpower, their special finishing move, that is definitely the Chiefs.
Absolutely. When you can bring on Samisoni Tukiaho, Tupou Vai, Finau, and Josh Jacob.
Yeah.
And that is a crazy... they would be starters for any other team.
Yeah, and Jacob, he was having a great game when he came on.
That first touch, an amazing little 5 meter from the sideline.
Beautiful.
Curling 50-22. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a quality... I mean, this is the thing. You do have a quality side. Makes sense that you're kind of near the top. Things are kind of clicking together and... God, I just hate for it all to go pear-shaped. But it's...
Well, it certainly didn't go pear-shaped on Friday, mate.
It certainly didn't go pear-shaped.
There was a lot of composure.
And you did well in the wet because it was a fucking slippery old mess. And the Reds...
The humidity was up there.
Well, mate, the humidity was neither here nor there. It was just pissing down.
Yeah, it was pissing down. And you know what? We didn't panic like we did in Fiji the last time we were playing in the wet, which we did have a little scramble there. And, that was...
You were at home.
That's the dock.
You could still hear the faint din of the cowbells over the rain.
Yep.
And you all looked kind of, nice and sort of soaking and,
It was just a very smart and considered game plan executed by a quality team.
But also you managed to capitalise on the mistakes, and which there were a few made. I mean, the Reds made some shockers, some doozies. Man. Exactly.
Slippery.
And you just came out on top of the... you were on top.
Yeah, we were on top.
You rode
we rode
the Chiefs.
Well, I think in
right
the wet, you
all
just,
the way to orgasm.
You just want a classic missionary, get the job done.
Do you?
Sort of job.
Is that
in the wet?
Is that
I
how
think
you?
so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to be trying anything. You don't want to be slipping over and injuring yourself or doing anything silly.
So if things do get that wet, your advice is actually just to go hammer and tongs.
Middle of the road and just go,
and look at them.
Let's execute perfectly.
Yeah, and look at them in the eye and let them know you're here to do business.
Yep, that's it.
Not pleasure.
Well, it's still pleasurable. It's still a great win.
It's just a sort of physiological thing, isn't
it? You know, it's still a lovely wee win, and it's taken us to the top again.
It has.
I mean, it has been a news item in this podcast quite a bit this year.
Well, actually, it hasn't really. We haven't really called news for you being a table topper.
Mate, I've got some other news.
I've got some news too. News.
The Blues recorded their second win this week.
Yeah, their second win of the competition, which I was still flabbergasted about. They're still in 10th place.
And so second
just
win.
Above the draw.
Sorry, just before we move on, mate. Second win. So they obviously beat you guys, the Hurricanes at Eden Park. What was their first win? And their only other win? What was that? Who was that against?
That was against the Hurricanes.
Oh, so the only two games they've won has been against the Hurricanes.
News. Fuck up, mate. I've got a whole lot of fuck ups have just been delivered outside. That's the news.
Should we talk about it, mate? Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, let's talk. You want to talk about that game now?
Yeah.
Okay. What happened? It was frustrating. As you know, you and I were there last night, Eden Park.
Yep.
It was good weather, good for running rugby.
Yeah. You had a couple of wet days, and then all of a sudden, a lovely day to dry everything out, make it very, very, very nice.
So that you didn't have to do just missionary.
No,
that there were other options.
There were. You know, you could argue that it was the conditions were perfect for some expansive play, which we've seen from both of those teams in the recent past. Sorry,
on both sides of the
game, yeah.
Body. Mate, to be honest, in spite of that, it was actually just a bit of a yawn fest at times.
It was a bit of a snooze fest.
I found we were tuning into the F1 quali halfway through.
Yeah, which was quite exciting.
Which was exciting. Go Liam. But I don't know. The defense from both sides was really great.
The game was dominated by defense.
No one was making much, much beyond the advantage line. And unfortunately, when the breaks were made, especially for the Hurricanes, we just weren't able to execute it at the end. A couple of really piss poor mistakes. The first one right off the first kickoff when we dropped it clean plumb fucking.
That's right. Who was that? One of you
I think it might have been Karifi. I don't know. I don't know if it was. I can't remember. But it was.
He cracked.
It was that. If that sort of summed up how things were going to go, I think.
Yeah.
Mate, I got a little down.
You did get a little bit.
Got a little
down.
frustrated.
I took a series of photos for you in the last 5 minutes of the game, and we'll make sure that you can see these online.
Yeah, look, I had to
post up a couple of clips, but mate,
I had to step away.
You went to a dark place, didn't you?
Yeah, look, I had to step away. Things were definitely. I could sniff it at about 68 minutes.
Yeah,
I just knew this wasn't going to go our way. The Hurricanes looked a little bit tired. I feel the Blues had a little bit more energy left in them. That fucking little weird Energizer Bunny, Christie. It was a shame.
I mean, you made a couple of weird decisions. I mean, there's one that I want to ask you about, actually. So Hoskins Satutu, the Blues captain, he went off because he made a silly mistake, contact with the head. It was actually quite a bad one.
Silly boy.
Yeah, silly boy. But you had a penalty, and it was maybe the second one in a row, and you hadn't sort of at that stage cracked the Blues' defence. You hadn't been able to get through. But you had Patrick Tuipulotu off. You had a man down and also a tight forward. And then you went and kicked a goal. I was like, what? Why are you not going for the points?
Practice. Kicking practice.
Mate, do that at half time.
I know. And it was actually one of the more sitter opportunities because Riley Hoihepa didn't have a great game off the tee from wide out. He tried to take 2 big old 40-meter ranger kicks, and he missed both of them.
But this one was right out in front, and he got it.
Well,
but mate,
hindsight's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
I mean, that would have won you the game in hindsight. You know?
That's why hindsight's a beautiful thing. We should have been more aggressive at that time. Maybe we made a few tactical errors, I think.
Yeah.
Made the decisions to kick and or to go for touch. We made them maybe the wrong way round. We just needed to. I feel like we capitulated. We'd been down their half for so long, and we admitted defeat. We went, we're not going to get past these guys. And credit to the Blues, we couldn't actually get past them a lot of the time. No. Their defense was certainly what won it for them last night. Because I got to say, their attack wasn't really there. It wasn't scintillating. Typical Blues attack. It was dirty.
I just want to go back to last week in the podcast, mate, when you were talking about how wonderful your team was and how you were going to come up with, and get another bonus point here.
I'd never said bonus point, mate.
Oh, you did.
I did not.
We'll roll it back, mate. Don't you worry. You said you were going to cream them.
I can't remember what I said. I did not say we were going to cream them.
And we've got a bit of history here. I think you need to just be a little bit less cocky, mate. And I think I'm just being
really confident. I love my boys. I think they do a great job.
Well, the photos,
and I think the Blues
that I took weren't of a confident supporter.
Yeah, but I think the Blues suck.
If the Blues suck, mate, what does that say about you?
That we lowered ourselves to their level. You know, like when you're playing tennis against someone and that's not very good, and suddenly you, who's quite a competent tennis player, finds yourself suddenly making all these mistakes, doing a shit serve, and you're lowering yourself to... I mean, if anything, that's why I was so disappointed, because I go, 1 point? We lost by 1 point in that messy, boring, shitty game. I just was upset about it, and you can tell.
I know why you were upset, because it was Bodie that really did it to you. He's the one that controlled the game for the Blues.
He actually had a lovely
little game.
5 from 6 off the tee.
Lovely little tactical kicking game. Put the ball in space. He really put you guys under pressure. A couple of little running lines, a couple of little line breaks. He was good.
And I'm not just upset for myself with that. I'm upset for Bodie, because I honestly think he could be 10 times the player he is if he was still at the Hurricanes.
Hey, mate, I just want to say this to you, and I won't say it again. You need to move on. He's gone. He's gone to Auckland, and I know you've bought a season pass for the Blues.
I bought it for him.
I know you did.
I want to see him.
But, mate, you need to move on.
Mate, I want to see him.
You need to move on.
I want the kids. I want to see the kids. Not his kids. This is sort of this is me doing like as if we're in a custody battle or something. Okay. You know, I just want to be clear.
I don't want to steal his kids.
No, I don't need to see your kids, Bodie. I'm sure they're lovely, but I've got no desire.
Yeah, I'm sure Hannah's got something to say about that too. They're definitely his kids. They're not yours, mate.
They're certainly not mine.
He's just played rugby for Wellington, the same province that you're from. You haven't had kids together.
No, I know. I'm just saying that's sort of how it feels.
It sounds a little bit threatening. It sounds a little bit weird.
It was up there as in terms of a betrayal.
You need to be careful.
We'll be taking the kids.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've twisted this. What I was doing was creating what is now, in hindsight, quite a poor metaphor about a custody battle for children. At my disappointment around Bowden's betrayal, leaving us, albeit many years ago. Still smarts.
But I think you need to find some, you've got some Lucy's, I guess you keep harping on about.
Well, they're fantastic.
And they were good at moments, but
they were
good. They didn't carry the team like they have in the past.
No, and well, this is just the classic Hurricanes in some ways, as we know. Beautifully inconsistent. Wish we weren't, but we have a habit of doing it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Want to move on, mate?
Yeah, I do want to move on.
You do?
Yeah, Blues are 10th.
2 wins, 2 from 2 against the Hurricanes.
2 from 2, you're 10th. They're probably not going to make the playoffs.
Now, we had a lovely
And they're going to get spanked.
From who?
Next week.
Against who?
Moana.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that, because we've got a little game that Moana have just played in the 8th round.
Yeah, we do have to talk about that. But first...
First? What do you mean first?
Oh, do you want to talk about that now?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a logical next step.
Yeah, yes.
That was a
Sorry.
lovely segue into the
I
next
thought you
game,
were
which is
segueing some. We're just not in sync.
mate, the Moana Waratahs game. I was going to say Warriors. They weren't playing the Warriors.
Imagine if they were.
That would be quite fun to watch.
That'd be interesting. Who'd win? Which code is it?
Depend on which code, yeah. I think if they were playing rugby,
A
Moana
weird
would win.
joint code.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Like a hybrid. Or cricket. Maybe just a completely different sport.
Loonion. Reeg.
Yeah. Maybe. Moana's back to back. They've come off a lovely win against the Crusaders.
They are in some form.
The comeback kings and another
comeback
epic
kings.
second half performance from these guys.
What is going on in those changing sheds, mate? Because the Chiefs, the Crusaders, and now the Waratahs, and it was a combination of what we now know about the Waratahs as we're watching them. Yeah. They're not very good in the second half. They went to sleep against the Hurricanes. No. They went to sleep here. I mean, they were up at a decent halftime lead.
Great start.
Like what most teams would consider a handsome lead going into the half.
14 point lead.
Really, really good.
And you know what? Joseph Su'uleti showed a little bit of promise in this game. He couple of really good
Thank God, because
he's first quarter of the game.
He's not shown much of his $5 million up until now.
We had a lovely wee hat trick.
Yes.
From
Filetti.
Mate, that was
Filetti
amazing.
Sai Tofu.
Yeah, he was on fire. Couldn't stop him close to the line.
Yeah, that's I got to say, that level, that unlocks something. A prop scoring a hat trick of tries
What do you reckon?
will unlock something like getting to a new level of a video game.
Is that for the team? Is that for him personally? Is that for the coaching staff?
I don't know. Like, surely that's a special milestone. Like, he's got to be given something.
Like, is it a bonus point for the team?
That's actually not
a prop
bad
scored
idea.
a hat trick.
They should have wild bonus points in Super Rugby, where if agreed upon rarities occur, such as a prop scoring a hat trick, you should get another point. That's genius.
Or maybe he gets to line up
Wild
the rest
points.
of the team with their shirts off, and he's just got a paintball gun, and he just gets to paint, just rain down on the whole rest of the team.
And
for
give
scoring a
them
hat trick.
massive welts for him scoring a hat trick.
Oh, I don't know. It's just an idea.
That's sadistic, mate.
Okay, sorry.
Is that what you did at high school or something?
No. It's just an idea. I just thought what would be fun.
I was thinking more like he gets like $1,000 and he gets to go to the casino and just
like a voucher for the.
Yeah,
he's not allowed to spend $1,000 anywhere else.
No, he gets a voucher for Sky City and a free meal, and he gets to go down on a.
Is he
private,
having the meal at Sky City?
Absolutely. Well, he's there for some time.
Okay, sure.
And it's basically you're $1,000, and whatever you come out with, that's on you. But he gets a credit.
Just a $1,000 credit, a grand for each try, or are we talking
no,
just one grand, just one
grand total.
flat grand?
Yeah, tough times. We're still in a cosy living cry.
Where do you think he'd go first? Do you think he'd try and double up on roulette, or do you think he'd be into the pokies?
Filetti, I'd probably say he'd love a bit of roulette.
Yeah.
Yeah. Roulette's always struck me as being fun for a person that's not a major gambler.
Okay. So
you know what I mean?
You've got $1,000. You're with Filetti now, and you've got $1,000 as well. What are you putting it on? On the roulette?
Red.
Wheel? Red? Just red, so you're going red and black?
Yeah, I'm going red and black to starters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the
I'm just spinning it, and
what's what the drug dealers do.
It's black. You've lost $1,000.
The drug dealers come in. Did you know how that's how they used to launder money? There were drug dealers in Auckland who would come in with, each of them would have, one person would have half the money, the other person would have this half, and they'd just bet on red, and person would bet on red solely the whole night, the other on black, and they'd win and they'd lose, right? 50-50 chance. And
so it just filters all the money.
And that's how they laundered the money. So they come out, usually they said the average that they came out with at the end was about the equivalent of paying 20% tax.
Wow.
Genius.
Why don't they just pay the tax?
Because it's drug money, mate.
Oh, it's illegal. Yeah.
Walking into the IRD, hey, so I've just sold 1 kilo of cocaine. I'm just wondering who I can give the tax to. And the IRD guy's just looking, going, just let me get my manager. I don't know why he's American.
A lovely
overseas
performance from Patrick Pellegrini again.
Pellegrini is lighting up the Pellegrini.
Do you think he's? I mean, has he been in the Wallabies jersey yet?
No, mate. Never played Super Rugby.
So this guy is probably putting his hand up to play Wallabies, right? Is he allowed to play Wallabies because he's playing for Moana? Yeah,
he is because he's an Aussie. It doesn't matter about your franchise.
Well, we were talking about this last week. Like, if you play for the Reds and you're a New Zealander, you can't play for the All Blacks, right?
But you can't play for the Reds. You mean you could if you wanted to, but then I think that's different in Australia.
Right.
Yeah.
I think he's putting his hand up. I mean, he's playing. Who else is going to be playing first five for?
Well, Noah Lolosio, Ben Donaldson. Yeah. I would say those guys are definitely putting their hands up.
But Pellegrini's got to be.
Pellegrini
is after the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. And Liner is also pretty impressive, man. Like he was impressive even the other night. Like they've got some options. But Pellegrini, the way he's just playing with I think compared to those guys, another level of confidence. Like he is bringing the confidence to that team for sure. That a lot of some of the other teams are lacking. Yeah, i.e. the Highlanders.
He's bloody good.
Yeah, he's bloody good.
Good addition to that team.
Yeah. And good on you, Paddy.
We talked about this as well when Garden Basham. We haven't sort of seen him for a wee while, and he came on and had a cracker as well. It's lovely.
Yeah, it's lovely.
You talked a little bit about what they might have had at half time, because Joey Wheeler in the Sky Sport commentary, he was like, I think at about minute 55, around about 60, when they turned it on, because that's when they really closed the game up.
Mate.
And they were flying in for scoring tries left, right and centre. Joey Wheeler was like, well, whatever they've taken at half time has kicked in.
Well, I reckon they've taken Joss.
What's Joss?
Joss is this fizzy yellow powder you can get from Indonesia, from Bali. And mate,
what is it, like a Red Bull kind of thing?
Yeah, but it is like 10 times more potent than any of those Red Bull concentrates. People get on the Joss in Bali and they're like, it's like they've had meth. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these guys have brought a few packets of Joss back and they're just smashing it.
You think they've gone to Bali in the off season and just brought back a bit of Joss?
They've gone bulk Joss.
Are you allowed to bring Joss into the country?
Well, why not? It's just an energy fucking thing.
No, it's just like is it guarana and stuff?
I think so. I don't exactly know what's in it. Maybe it is illegal to bring it back in. You never see it here, so maybe you can't actually bring it in.
So if we're going for what they're taking it at half time, kicks in at 55 minutes. Does it take usually around about 20 minutes to kick in?
Probably. Yeah.
It's probably.
I stay away from most of those stimulants.
Yeah, the Joss, mate. Maybe it's the Joss, but whatever it is a working.
Well, it's either that or a massive rev up from Tana. Like Tana must have some really well chat GPT speeches that he's going through at half time. Do you reckon he's up there and they're not playing so well, right? They're not playing so well, and he just goes, Chat GPT, please write me a real rev up halftime speech to take my team back from being 21-5 down.
Yeah. And then make it a little bit funnier. Make it a little more serious.
Make it a little less mean.
Yeah. Make it feel like it's coming from the heart.
Now, make it feel like it's coming from Tana.
Make it feel like it's coming from an All Black coach.
And make it... take some important words out of it so it's slightly disjointed.
Make it a little bit simpler. Make it a little bit easy for a rugby player to understand.
Mate, I'd be fucking taking advantage of ChatGPT if I were those coaches. Sometimes if I wasn't feeling inspired, I'd go...
We all know Tana's got it in him. He's got the motivational capacity in him. I think he's fine. I don't think he needs ChatGPT.
He probably doesn't say much, like we sort of hinted to earlier. He probably just looks around the dressing room like this.
Well, you know what?
And looks at each player, and even in that look, they go, I know, sir.
I don't think you're giving him enough credit, mate. I think he's actually coming into his own as a coach, and I think he understands what the players need. And also, I feel like he's empowered the players to do what they need to do to win. And I think it's back to back. I think they're on an upward trajectory.
Okay, what would you say?
What would I say?
If you've got 30 seconds and your boys are down 21-5, what would you say? Go on.
Whatever I'm going to say is never going to be as good as what Tana's got. He's in his 10th year as a coach.
I'll tell you what I'd say.
What would you say, man?
I'd go like this. Everybody sitting? Everybody listening?
Yep.
All right. What the fuck was that? Oh, don't fucking look away. Look at me, Patrick. That was bullshit. You know what you did was bullshit. We're not going to win a competition playing like that. We're not even going to win. We're just not going to win. If you do not change your attitude, we're going to sit at the bottom of the table like we have time and time before, and you're going to go home to your families, and they're going to look at you, they're going to hug you, they're going to stay with you, but they're not going to love you. They're not going to respect you, because they'll look at you and like you're a loser, a good-for-nothing piece of shit. So unless you don't want that to happen, I'd suggest taking this glass of Joss and get the fuck out there and rip them a new one. Cheers.
That's it.
That is actually quite extreme. I've taken that
I think Tana has got way more than that, mate.
Yeah, that's shit, eh?
Wow, maybe that's what the Hurricanes halftime speech is like. That's why they've come out and been a little bit lackluster.
Well, they've probably gone, fuck, he's always so mean.
He's always mean, yeah.
Just tone's all wrong.
Why is he talking about love?
None of us know what that is.
Speaking of coaches, by the way.
Yeah.
Who do you reckon the new Chiefs coach is going to be? Because I've heard
after
some whispers.
Clayton flies the coop.
John O'Gibbs is another name that's come up this week.
Interesting.
But mate, I planted this seed the other day, and I'm getting more and more excited about it. Glenn Jackson.
Yeah, honestly, mate, it could make sense. I mean, let's be honest. I'm sure coaching the Drua is a great experience and cementing more things for him as a coach, but mate, they're never going to move much beyond what they are at the moment. They haven't done for the last wee while. If he's given that opportunity to coach a quality side like the Chiefs, I'd be jumping at it. Is he a good coach? I mean, how do you
maybe not?
How do you go on his track record?
I mean, they've picked up a couple of scalps here and there. But, maybe. I mean, he obviously doesn't have a great away from home record with the Drua.
Well, no, but nobody does. They've never won away from home. I
just like him.
Yeah, well, that's nice. You ever considered sending him a letter or something?
I don't think I want to go that far with it.
Yeah, well, he'd be like, who the fuck is this guy?
I just really appreciate admiring him from afar.
Yeah. What about Roger Randall?
Mate, where there's smoke, there's fire.
What do you mean?
He's been up to mischief in the past.
Mate, 2 decades ago.
I know, but I just think he's got it in him. I don't know.
What? The ability to fuck things up?
I just think, mate, he's obviously onto the right thing with the he's the attacking coach, right, for the Chiefs, and I think he's onto a great thing. I don't know if I trust him as the leader of the coaching group.
Yeah, right.
I don't mind him in there.
Yeah, no, he is obviously very good in his
dodgy.
position.
He's got those little wry smiles. He's got those sideways glances. He's like Ethan DeGroote.
They're cut from the same cloth.
Yeah,
you think?
cut from the same cloth.
So you're saying you can't have a coach who's a little bit of a shit. You need someone who's not going out at night.
No, you want someone that's ultimate respect.
Roger's hitting the terps.
You think about
afterwards.
You think about the great coaches. You think about your Graham Henry, for example.
Steve Hanson's.
Steve Hanson's. They're kind of like really, really good school principals.
They are. Often the best ones are. It's because they're basically commanding respect from guys that aren't much older than high school age anyway.
Razor Robinson, he commands a lot of respect from his players.
He would have been the cool high school teacher, like the art history teacher or something.
But he tells people what they need to hear. I don't think Roger Randall's going to be doing that.
No, well, not unless it's the heir of a... Anyway.
Should we move on to the Crusaders Drua game?
Oh, Christ, if we have to.
Yeah, we do.
Well, the Drua can't win away from home. Can't win away from home. And now it seems they can't win in Fiji either, which is a real shame.
For this game, yeah. The Crusaders definitely they made a little tactical play, I think. They tried to get in the Fijian Druas' heads when they decided to wear what looked very much like the Fiji national strip.
Mate, it looked like Fiji were playing Fiji.
Yeah. And
It
they're
was
sponsored
weird.
by Fiji Airways.
What was going on?
It was a full Fijian national top.
They're having a laugh.
Yeah.
It looked exactly like
They've
it.
made the Fijian Drua wear blue, and they've come out in their own national colours.
That is a slap in the face, is it not?
And you know what, mate?
Or is that just a genuine sign of respect going, hey, guys, we're going to do something really cool for this weekend's game. We're going to wear your strip, your national.
We're not just going to wear
rugby
your
team
blue
strip.
Drua strip. We're going to wear the prize of Fijian rugby.
And then
we're going to beat you.
Yeah, and then get this, yeah. Then we're going to do so well, and we're going to play out of our skin like you guys usually do in Fiji, and we're going to waste you. And they just went, sounds good.
Maybe they wanted to sell a few jerseys at the airport. They wanted to trick a few Fijians into buying a Crusaders jersey.
Definitely cool. But I'd rather see the Drua in that jersey. I mean, that was just weird. I was like, hang on, what's going on here?
You've got to differentiate the Drua from the Fijian national side because they're not the Fijian
I know
national
that.
side.
I know that.
So yeah, I don't think they could wear the white and black.
So actually, the Crusaders were kind of the only ones
They were
that
just
can.
dicks. That's not their away jersey, is it?
No, I think their away jersey is black. I think it's black.
It's black, yeah.
It's black with bits of red. I'm pretty
So
sure.
where have they pulled this jersey from?
Oh wow, I don't know. I guess it was a sign of respect, but mate,
Didn't seem very respectful to me. It sounds like an arsehole move.
It does, and then they did outplay them, and they were playing fantastically, like the Drua usually do in Fiji. They had the run of the place.
Yep.
Obviously, they've got some fantastic Fijian players themselves, the Crusaders.
Shea Fiaki.
Yeah, Shea Fiaki looks good, man.
He looked good, and you know what? In front of he went for a 60-meter bloody penalty. Almost got it. He got the distance. He kicked it 75 meters.
Yeah.
That guy has got a boot.
He's got a boot. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see him
playing for Fiji, right?
No, for the All Blacks.
For the All Blacks.
Mate, he was in an All Blacks call-up late last year. And I reckon Razor likes him. And I wouldn't be surprised if, at the moment, I'm thinking Reese has got one wing sewn up, right?
That seems definitely the case.
My
yes.
other thing would be, at the moment, I'd probably say Caleb Clark is on the other one. I'm talking starting. If you lose Caleb...
I don't say Caleb.
If you lose Caleb, I reckon Shea Fiaki is the next cab off the rank. I'm not sure whether Amoni Narawa and a lot of these other guys...
hasn't stepped up in the last few games.
And I'm talking starting All Blacks wingers. I reckon Shea Fiaki feels like he's making a play for that. And I know Razor's keen on him. Imagine having that, 2 Fijian flyers on each wing. That'd be interesting.
It would be good. It would be nice. I mean, there's obviously a few other names floating around there. You've got bolters, and we
plenty of bolters, but I'm talking about getting right into the start.
And Shea definitely has had a little bit of experience in and around that group, which is always beneficial.
Yeah.
The winger is a great position for a bolter. In the past we've had many people come through as
correct, and that's what you've got to get them on their meteoric rise. You've got to get them before they're peaking. Because they fall pretty quickly after that. A winger's expiry time is short, and Talia just doesn't seem like he's got the goods at the moment. I've always found him he's a bit of a mixed bag player.
He seemed to play pretty well for the All Blacks when he's put the jersey on.
Yeah.
One person that I do want to see on the wing and out of the centres is Rico.
Do you actually think if they said tomorrow, your wing now for the rest of your life, mate, do you think he would be picked as a starting All Blacks winger?
I think he's an amazing player.
Maybe they should just give that a go.
And I think that's probably the best place for him. I think we've got way more depth in the midfield than what we do on the wing. And it's obvious that the powers that be want Rico in that team.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
And then you've got Tangito, you've got
Leroy
Carter. I mean, these are all... Yeah. Those are all great outside options. I mean, Christ, we could if you got injuries and you can pull those guys in. I mean, there's certainly no depth problem in New Zealand rugby, that's for sure.
And one of the best outside backs we've obviously got in this country at the moment is Will Jordan, who had a blinder in Fiji.
And actually, depending on the way you want to structure it, and I don't know what Razor's intentions are around the 15-14 debate. But I still would love to. I'd still kind of maybe put Jordan at 14 with Reese on the other. And I'm just going to say it. I'll put D-Mac at 15 and Bodie at 10. I'd love to see that combo. I just love to see it. God, they played well last time when they were together like that in this, 2017-18, when the French were touring. I mean,
they've all moved
formidable.
on a few years, mate.
Who?
Bodie's old.
D-Mac's old, but they're playing well.
He's early 30s.
Yeah.
Bodie's in his mid, isn't he?
Yeah, but that's
Reaching
fine.
the end. How old is Bowden Barrett?
I think he's early 30s, is he not? He's only 34 or something.
What are you doing for his birthday this year?
We're going out for dinner, actually.
Lovely.
Yeah. No, we've got a appointment at the lanes. We've got we're going to go bowling.
I see. Yeah.
10 pin. And
10 pin or lawn?
10 pin.
Yep.
And then we're going to go for a lovely dinner down on the waterfront.
Nice.
And then probably go back home for a few.
Home to yours or home to his?
It's still being decided.
Right.
I think he's gone. If we go to his. It's like you got to think of the kids are there.
So maybe just straight back to your place.
Yeah, we're probably straight back to mine, and then from there it's sort of we can be a lot more rowdy.
Yeah,
yeah,
and you can, and wherever the night ends up,
wherever
right?
it takes us. Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
So but no
Uber Eats or
yeah. And I've got him a wee something, and
what have you got him?
Well, just a little surprise.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't want to.
No, well, I don't want to ruin it. He could be listening to this, so I'm.
Hey, when is his birthday?
It is. Gosh. When was it? Oh, sometimes these things blank from your mind.
Yep.
September the 30th. No.
All right, mate. Let's move on. You've got a weird obsession with him, and what you need to do is maybe you need to move on. We've talked about this earlier.
Mate, you're
it's
the one.
Time. It's time, mate. It's time.
I'm not coming to your birthday.
That Bodie or me?
I'm going to get my mum to call his mum and tell him I'm not coming to his birthday.
Not coming to his birthday party. He's got a bouncy castle and everything for you.
Yep. All right.
Force Highlanders. Unfortunately,
just a typical week for the Highlanders, wasn't it?
Yep. They came unstuck again. They actually had a really good start to the game. They had a couple of great tries.
Lo and behold, the pattern emerges.
It's just this defense thing, and you know what? I think it's what you struggled with this week as well against the Blues, mate. Good D against you, but also just didn't have the defence to keep them out.
No, and they're just not executing with enough efficiency to get across the line, and they're playing teams that they should be beating them, or they need to beat them if they're going to be have any kind of look in this competition. And unfortunately, it's about to get a lot worse for them in terms of the draw. They're about to play.
Next?
Well, next I think they've actually got the Drua.
They've got the Drua,
which is an unknown quantity. The Drua, it can be very dangerous.
Yeah,
but
like we've talked about, they're not
a great away from home. But then they've got, I think, the Crusaders, the Chiefs. It doesn't get easy. So that's going to be interesting. But
there's a bloody try scoring machine in the Force.
There is. Isn't it wonderful
Carlo
to see?
Tizzano, and it's mate. It's not a coincidence anymore. He's gone too far with it. Like, I think he should have kind of kept it under wraps, but obviously he's getting incentivized to score tries.
What? Like a treat system?
He's getting the treat. A schmacko.
He's getting it. Tizzano go wacko for schmackos.
Yeah, I think he's getting the schmacko.
Are you serious? What, he's getting
he's getting something, mate. What is he getting?
Well, he's probably just getting, he's getting a schmacko.
He has got eyes for that line.
I guess he's probably getting, again, maybe he's getting a voucher. Maybe. I mean, I just think he likes scoring tries, mate.
But it's
how many has he got?
Mate.
11.
I think 12, maybe. It's the most in the competition.
Yeah,
he scored more than any outside back,
which is not unusual because Hoskins had the 12 last year with Reese, I think. But it is impressive.
We're halfway through the season and he's already equaled last year's tally.
Yeah, so what could he get to?
What could he get to?
He'll definitely break the record.
Crack 20.
Crack 20. Should we put a bet on that?
Yeah. How do we do that?
Just you and me.
What? So if we...
I reckon he'll...
Okay, so how do we do that? Let's do a bet right now.
I bet you he'll crack. I think he's going to get another 11 tries.
So that's taking him to 3?
22.
22. He's on 11. Okay, so 22. I think he's going to get to 18.
What? Okay. If
10 grand?
fucking hell,
Okay.
10 grand.
$10?
Where are you pulling that from?
$10.
No. You have to give me a massage.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What? I don't want a massage from you if I win.
Oh, well, $10.
No, let's go 50. $50.
$50.
So what am I? 18.
Yeah.
And you're 22.
Nah, let's not do something.
And closest
Let's
wins.
not do something as boring as 50. I reckon whoever wins has to take. So whoever wins, the other person has to take them out on a lovely surprise, like an experience,
Okay.
like a lovely evening
A lovely evening.
or activity.
Or you have to buy a Force jersey. The away Force
You have to
jersey.
buy which it looks is basically what the Hurricanes
you'll be
jersey
wearing
should
next
look
year.
like. Fucking hell. Yeah, look, the Force. I mean, we kind of did say that, or at least I'd picked that. I thought the Highlanders were going to lose 2 on the trot, and
they did.
in Australia. That was a hard ask, and the Force are good.
And well, they're not. I mean, they've played an extra game than everyone else. They're having their bye next week.
Yep.
And they're only sitting in maybe 6th. I
Yeah.
think it is. So they're on 20 points.
I mean,
think
they're never-
You're on about 15. So you're only really a bonus point win away from taking them down.
When it comes to the crunch time, there are the teams that are probably going to get over the line, and I don't think there's many of the Australian teams that have the capabilities of doing it. I reckon.
I think the Reds showed it.
They showed a little bit. I'd probably say the Brumbies still. Maybe it's that playoff metal, and I certainly don't think the Force are quite there yet.
And the Reds are actually playing the Brumbies in Brisbane this week.
Oh, that'll be a good game.
that'll be an interesting game.
Yeah.
Like you say, who's sort of got bragging rights over that side of the ditch.
Yeah.
There's another thing that happened in this game, Force Highlanders game, and it sort of makes me ask the question what these players are doing in the off season for just to stay in shape.
Yeah.
Another technically sound suplex.
Yeah, perfectly executed.
From C.O. Tompkinson. And he got carded again for it. And again, there was much debate about what he was getting carded for, whether he was taking someone over the 90 degrees or whatever. But he was off.
I guess they've decided that that's what it is,
But do you think that they're just going into some casual sort of amateur wrestling tournaments in the off-season to stay fit?
I think they're participating in a sort of an underworld of wrestling in Perth, in the greater Perth area.
Right.
And they're going to these events, and they're not just getting into the training of it. I reckon they're actually like building stories and characters.
Full storylines. So Tompkinson's he's got a character name. He's got a suit. He's got like
the Tomahawk.
Yeah, the Tomahawk. Yeah,
and he comes in with a giant, sort of dressed like a giant axe.
He's like one of those kind of lumberjack kind of characters.
That's right.
So he's got a flannel. He's got maybe some stubbies, some woolly socks, and a pair of boots.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He whips the boots off, and he's straight into the woolly socks.
Yeah, classic. And then he suplexing everybody.
Yeah, then he rips off his flannel, and he's just in the stubs.
What do you reckon his finishing move would be called?
Oh, it's obviously the suplex because that's what he turns.
But what it would be called the Tomahawk suplex, I suppose. Yeah. Quite a cool name.
The Tomahawk.
Well, at least we know if things don't go so well for him with international level rugby, he can get along to your local town hall in Perth and see him.
Do you think that character-driven wrestling has much time left? I feel like it's been overtaken by UFC.
But the UFC is too real. It's too disturbingly real. I can't watch it.
That's what we want.
I don't want to watch
like
that.
The blood.
I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch people getting truly fucked up. No, I don't. I don't. What I do want is to see people get fake hit and then sort of have a cry and then just do that.
And build a storyline.
And have the coach come down. Man, I was a massive WCW fan when I was a teenager.
What would your wrestling character be, mate?
My wrestling character, I'd probably be maybe if I'd shave my beard, I'd sort of go for like an albino kind of phantom look, kind of like Silas from the Da Vinci Code.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd come in a like a black hood and then you'd pull back the cloak, and I'd have one of those sort of metal sluices around my cutting into my skin because I'm punishing myself.
Yeah. Okay.
For not doing my suplex properly the
quite
week
dark,
before.
Mate. It's like pretty niche.
But mate, did you not used to watch the wrestling was dark?
Yeah,
there was a character called the Undertaker, and they all came in and had the weirdest, like most theatrical shit. Like that wouldn't be out of place at all. Of course, I then strip the cloak back, and I'm just in a little pink G.
G-banger. That's your name, the G-banger.
But that's sort of, I go with this weird sort of antithesis intro where I come in and it's all like boom, Hans Zimmer kind of music playing over, and the cloak, I pull that back, they see the blood dripping down from my sluice, and then I just go, hey!
And then at the end of the day, you're just the camp guy in a pink G-string.
I just go, let's get this party started.
Can you make a character for me? What would I be?
I reckon you'd be... I think you'd be something like Mowgli
from the Jungle Book.
Yeah, like a little street kid who's learnt to fight, and he's had to fight his way like Aladdin or Mowgli and those kind of things.
Or like the guy that was Earth in Captain Planet.
Marty. No, but he's a pussy, mate. He's not going to do anything. Do you know what? I reckon you are Mowgli, and you channel your spirit animal as the wolf, as Arkela, and you basically, you've grown up and been raised by wolves, so you have this innate ability to just spring around, and you're quick, you're wily.
I'd quite like to be Eddie.
And I reckon...
I'd like to be Eddie from Tekken.
Oh, yeah.
He's a breakdancer.
Yeah, you would. But
he breakdance fights.
Mate, just to add to the thing with the wolf and stuff, I reckon you'd end up biting people. I reckon you'd bite.
Yeah, I've got a history of that in my childhood.
I know, yeah. Well, do you?
Yeah, I was known to bite one of my aunties. Just one person when I was younger. I got told off a couple of times.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and I got...
hang on, mate. I can't tell. Are you seriously saying you had a biting problem?
When she was... just with one auntie. I don't know why. But when she was coming round, my parents would sit me down and they'd be like, all right, well, your auntie's coming over and we don't want you to be doing any biting. And I'd be like, yeah, definitely not. And then as soon as she'd be in, I'd be biting her on the leg and I'd run and hide in the closet.
As soon as she was in, you'd be biting her on the leg.
Just one little bite.
Mate, your poor parents.
Mate, I was young.
Mate, Tawil must have been going, what the hell have we done to deserve this little shit? I was 3 or 4 years old, mate. And I've got friends that have got kids and they're still in the biting phase. Mate, if I was Tawil, I would have been smacking you up the back of the head with that behaviour.
What are you talking about, mate?
That's terrible.
No,
get your fucking teeth off your auntie.
I didn't even really have teeth. I think I was still a bit going.
So you were late developed, mate.
When do you get your teeth in?
Mate, you get your teeth at like 1 year old. You should have had your teeth.
I had teeth.
In fact, if you didn't have teeth, they were seriously going, this guy's fucked up.
No, I must have had teeth. Yeah.
Were you a little bit slow?
No.
Were you a bit dim?
No, it's quite smart. Late developer though. Didn't get pubes until I was, late in my early teens.
We'd probably bitten them all off.
Bit them. I couldn't reach down that far, man.
Take out a couple of ribs. I can't believe you were a biter.
Yeah.
Poor Grace.
Mate,
we should give her our awards.
Really off.
No, come on, let's just let's just give our awards out.
Okay, mate.
Everybody's sorry. We've been a bit disjointed today. But we'll give you some awards. Here they are.
Wanker of the week.
Oh, we're starting with that one.
Yeah, Wanker of the week.
Well, we've kind of talked about him.
Yeah, and there was a real obvious one. And, I mean, he was the only red card offence this week. Sean Withy, an absolutely filthy knee to the head. And, to someone who, I think is an unsung hero of the Super Rugby competition, Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And you know what? He just scored a try. It was after he had scored, and then he came in with a flying knee. Sent him into HIAville.
Yeah.
Sean Withy.
So this sounds like some bloody Malfoy.
Yeah, mate. He's definitely
Draco Malfoy type shit.
He's definitely one of the Death Eaters.
Yeah.
And and you know what? He's cut his hair. He's got a shaved little haircut. He looks a little bit snaky.
No, someone needs to tell him this ain't Quidditch. It's rugby.
Sean, sort your shit out, mate.
Sort it out, mate. Harry Potter's done nothing to you.
He's done nothing
except be a proud card-carrying member of Gryffindor.
He's a hero, and what you've done with your knees is not acceptable.
Well, he's going to miss a couple of matches now, is he?
Probably, yeah. I'd
Naughty
say
boy.
so.
There you go.
Anyone else?
He's
Or
not
is
going to
that-
be playing in the Tri-Wizard tournament.
Do you concur?
I concur.
Okay, great.
Player of the day.
Good on you, mate. Felitti.
We've both got him. We surely was. Felitti Sai Tuafu. He is...
You can't not celebrate a prop getting a hat trick. I don't care who you are.
That's amazing. What a performance, and just what a game that was. That was a very exciting game to watch.
Yeah, we probably didn't talk about it enough, actually. Good on you, Moana. And
Mate, Moana,
get
yourself down to Rainbow's End and have a good team day out.
Yeah, you know
I
what?
reckon.
That's spot on, Gareth.
Yeah.
Get yourself a couple of Fantas, get some hot dogs on a stick.
Maybe a cotton candy.
Yeah, little cotton candy.
Yeah.
Get into it,
Oh,
boys.
by the way, I had a terrible time last night at Eden Park. I was walking around everywhere desperately trying to find a battered hot dog. Mate, I got the fever. I was like, I've got to have a battered hot dog.
Did you find
it's because I saw Harry Dalton's daughter and her little friend eating a kid's meal, and I was like, I'm determined to find this
Did you get
meal. Nah, couldn't find it.
Got a Fritz Wiener, though. I saw you eat that.
Yeah, well, I destroyed that. But they make all the fancy ones. But at the end of the day, sometimes I just want a real dirty, battered hot dog.
I don't like the sausage inside.
What, the type of sausage they use?
Yeah,
like a pre-cooked sav.
It's like a
It's a saveloy, mate.
but it's not that. I don't like them anymore. When I was a kid, yeah, but I don't like the flavour of that sausage.
Fair enough.
I'm more like I need a bit of texture and flavour. I want a Fritz Wiener.
As should you all. But I do, to be honest, like the sort of the soft cardboardy sausage type things.
That's the Welsh coming out in your mouth.
Yeah.
I'm an Austrian.
I eat
I like the flavoured sausage.
I eat a lot of Cheerios, Savaloys, just straight up cold. I eat a lot of surimi.
Yeah, you love that
luncheon.
crab meat.
I love that kind of shit, you know.
You fucked up, mate. That is beige food.
It's terrible. It's probably doing terrible things to my body, but you know. One more.
Most improved player.
Have you got anyone on this? You never do, mate.
I
Why
should.
don't you invest in the most improved? I think it's an important
I have had
award.
most. I have had most
It's the one
improved.
you have to think about.
I
a
have.
little bit more.
Chill out, mate.
You need to do a bit more prep next week, please. I want you to have a most improved. My one this week is the Chiefs captain, Luke Jacobson.
Oh, good on you, Jacobson.
And you know what?
Has been a bit quiet.
He's been, I maybe we put him in the same, or maybe I do. I don't know about you. I know you're not the biggest fan of Luke.
I
But
don't mind him, but
maybe we put him in the same category as Scooter, where he's, he's just biding his time.
Yep.
And you know what? He had a very commanding performance in very difficult conditions.
Yep.
This week.
stood up when it counts.
He stood up. He scored a great try, and he ran the ship. You know, and I think that's he deserves a little bit of kudos.
It's great. It's great when those single players, take it on their shoulders and go, no, I'm gonna guide us out of that. That's great.
And he just looks like a cool older cousin or something. You know, like your cool or an older brother. You know,
Yeah.
he'd look out for you.
He would. Yeah.
If you got into a bit of shit at school, he'd be the one to come and sort it out and go, "Oi, you leave my brother alone."
He'd be very protective of his sister, I imagine.
Oh yeah.
I reckon if he's got a sister, anyone his sister would bring around to date, he's probably like, you fucking bring them to me first.
Yeah. And mate, if you fucking do anything to my sister, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Jesus. So it's just a warning to everybody, if you are going to get with
Luke Jacobson's sister,
Rebecca.
If he's even got a sister.
If he's even got a sister, I would just clear it with him.
No, not
Judy Jacobson.
That's his mum's name.
She probably is. Oh, Judy.
And actually, while we're on the topic, don't mess with his mum either.
Yeah, actually, don't mess with any of the Jacobsons.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. And not after that game this week.
And
he's really, he's shown that he's a loyal member of his team and community and family.
Yeah. I bet Luke Jacobson didn't bite his auntie.
Probably not. All right, mate.
All right, well, looking forward to next week. We've got some humdingers.
Well, mate, the first game is a cracker.
Back at Sky Stadium in Wellington.
After seeing you with your little sulky look on your face at Eden Park this week.
Yeah, it was sulky, all right.
Mate, you've got a big task
We've got a big task ahead of us.
The Crusaders.
It doesn't get any easier for us either. But I'm confident that being back at home is really helpful. And also, coming off the bit of that bullshit from the Blues game and going, come on, guys, we've got it. got all the ingredients there. I still feel, I'm not going to say I feel confident, but I
not this week,
think
'cause
they're
you
going to
have
rise
you
to
have
the
every other
occasion.
week, mate.
They're going to rise to the occasion.
You've said every week that you're about to fuck up.
Hurricanes by 12 and under.
So you're going to win?
Yep.
Bonus point?
Don't care about the bonus points. Stop going on about the bonus points.
I'm sorry, mate, but I don't think the Crusaders are going to be beaten by you.
Okay, you're going Crusaders?
I think I'm going Crusaders, and I think it's going to be tight.
As you're wont to do.
I think it's going to be tight. I think the Hurricanes will come up with a bit of a fight, but I don't think they're going to take it away from them.
Yeah.
Bit of momentum there for the Crusaders. I know they lost to Moana last week, but yeah, I think they're probably going to take that one out.
Yeah. Okay.
We move over to Sydney.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
Chiefs Waratahs.
And you're obviously you're getting a very hurt Waratahs side who've had a terrible New Zealand tour.
They have.
And I think you're going to put them to the sword. Or maybe they're going to be your little disruptor. Maybe they get back on home soil.
Well,
they go back down to Bondi for a surf and then
I feel like we had
reset
that
with
little,
the family.
We had that little wake-up call in Fiji, actually, and I'm thankful for that because I think it's really, just given the Chiefs a bit of impetus to make sure we win these close games that we've had in the last wee while. But we're due a little bit of a free-running, lovely little attacking game of rugby.
And if the Waratahs don't sort their shit out, actually for this game, it's going to go south pretty quickly for them. So this is kind of they need to be competitive.
And I'm hoping I don't know how far away Albie is, but I'd love to see him back in the fray.
Yeah.
Love to see him back in our back line or even on the bench, like we pride ourselves on that bench. So I think that's going to be a good one to watch, but I think the Chiefs are definitely going to
be great. Game of the tournament.
Or game of the round.
Game of the round, sorry. Well,
Definitely
do you know what?
Game of the week.
Actually, probably could be game of the tournament.
Well,
because
certainly for Auckland.
You've got a classic Battle of the Bridge.
Yeah.
4:30 p.m. afternoon game, Eden Park. That, the way the Blues played this week and the way Moana played, Moana are absolutely going to wipe their asses with them.
And you know what? I saw a video from...
and I hope they bloody do.
From Mark Talaire.
Oh, yeah? Just a selfie?
No, it was just a video after the win against the Hurricanes. And you know what? I just think maybe the Auckland City Council is going to step in here, but watch out for the bins. The bins are getting punished.
Mate, I thought the bin slamming thing was Moana's
Me
shtick.
too.
So
but apparently Mark Talaire is also...
He's just taking that
doing
upon
it
himself.
for the Blues as well.
You can't just copy them. That's a bit, come on,
Do you think they
original.
maybe were doing it, but they were already doing it?
I think they were sending them a message.
You reckon?
They were going,
We can do bins
We
too.
can slap a bin as well.
But mate, I think we should all pitch in and maybe get... I don't know about disrespecting the council's property.
Now, I reckon, and they're actually very easy to smash and snap those plastic lids.
No, we've all been there.
We've
and
all
you have
had
to
that.
call up the council and you get them to bring out a new lid. I don't know. Do they get their own lid? Obviously, it's a thing. We don't necessarily need to get them a drum or anything.
No, mate, I think we should get them a drum.
No, I
think we should get them a full size.
I think the whole point is that it's whacking a bin.
I think, okay, well, at least I'd love to see one of them on a set of... I'd love to see Jackson Garden Bash up on a set of bongos.
Yeah, maybe.
That'd be lovely.
Actually, yeah.
Just thinking, wouldn't it be cool if, as each game went on, we delivered a new piece of musical equipment to them? And so by the end, they got a full PA system and a band, and they're just
a full rhythm section from an orchestra. Like we get a big kettle in there. Maybe what other drums are there?
There's none. Well, yeah, steel drums.
Yeah, we get some big steel drums. A lovely little snare, like a little drum line. Maybe we could get some...
Like a marching thing. Here's to say, I reckon with a bit of hard work, I reckon by the final round of Super Rugby, they could be sounding like the Doobie Brothers. I reckon we could get some serious harmonies going on.
Moana Pasifika already sound really cool with their little post-match celebration.
They do.
I think it does. I mean, I don't want to take the bin away. I just think maybe they need to get their own bin rather than using the Albany City Council
that's right.
situation.
And the Blues probably need to come up with a better team chart, because Talia was basically just sitting there going, "We are the Blues our colour, Blues the colour that one of the main colours."
Yeah, they've also got some bad chants.
Yeah.
Defense.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's the kids doing it, but even still, get some better stuff.
Yeah, that announcer,
Get some better material.
that announcer at the Eden Park is annoying as hell. Just asking the same things over and over again.
I think New Zealand sport can be better at that in general.
Yeah, well, poor Mellow Downs at performing at half-time to a half-empty stadium when they didn't even turn the lights down for him. He's just standing in the middle of the field by himself.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, you need to sharpen up. It's kind of shit. All right.
I'm picking the Highlanders to beat the Drua in Forsyth. I think
I
that Drua
think
win.
it would be lovely if they need to. They have to.
Yep.
But it could be an opportunity for the Drua to finally win their first game away from home.
Probably the best opportunity.
Well, there you go. Drua, if you're listening, the Highlanders are weak. Attack.
Attack. Get 'em
And
down
then
at
the
Forsyth.
Reds Brumbies is actually going to be a real great battle as
I mean,
well.
it's probably arguably the decider of who's the best Australian team.
Yep.
And I feel like
definitely
one
is.
or other, or maybe both, are probably going to make it through to the top six. I would
Definitely.
say.
They're definitely going to be in the top six. And then that's where, you separate the wheat from the chaff,
Do we go maybe, what do the Waratahs still have a chance, or are we sort of ruling them out now?
I think the way they've been playing, it does not look like a side who has any true future in the competition. It didn't look good. You can't be doing back-to-back
Well,
losses
they're following
like that.
the Rebels. Just cut them
No,
out.
no, I'm not suggesting that. We can't be cutting that. The Waratahs is sort of the backbone of Australian rugby in some ways.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's it.
we love you.
Anything else, mate?
No, I'm just thinking, thanks for listening to us. Hope you're enjoying the competition. If you do want us to chat about anything particular, or like you want to have your say, just email us in supersmackpod@gmail.com, or get in touch with us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We're always there. One of us is always there
Hey,
listening.
I noticed that you didn't post anything after the Hurricanes game this week.
Well, why would I, mate? It was in a deep, deep depression.
And on that note, we'll see you next week.
Hooroo!
Catch you later.
Mara te wā.
Thanks for listening.